Hello students, so today we are going to learn next part in the lesson number 3, chemical reactions and equations. And in this, before this we have studied physical change, chemical change and some other activities we have studied. Now today we are going to learn about chemical equation and next part. So next point is there, chemical equation. Next part is the chemical equation. So in case of the chemical equation, there are two types of chemical equations. There are two types of chemical equation. In that, first one is their word equation and second one is their chemical equation. In that chemical equation, we are going to study two types of equation. First one is their word equation and second one is their chemical equation. So what is the difference between word equation and chemical equation? That one we are going to learn. So in case of the first word equation, so before this we have studied one chemical reaction. First I will tell the definition. The simple way of the representing chemical reaction in words. What is the definition? Simple way of representing chemical reaction in the words. It is called as a word equation. What is the simple way? Simple way of representing. Simple way of representing chemical reaction. Chemical reaction in words is called word equation. Is called as a word equation. So it is a simple way of representing chemical reaction in words. By using words you are going to write that particular chemical reaction. It is called as a word equation. Example will take, suppose example is there, aqueous solution. Aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Aqueous solution of copper sulfate plus zinc dust, and it will give aqueous solution of zinc sulfate plus copper. So this reaction we have written in words. Aqueous solution of the copper sulfate plus zinc dust, and it will give aqueous solution of zinc sulfate plus copper. So this equation, this reaction we have written in words. So if you are using the words for that particular reactants and products, then you can say this is word equation. And you are knowing this one, to the left of the arrow these are the reactants. To the left of the arrow these are the reactants, and to the right of the arrow these are the products. These are the products. So reactants are there to the left side and products are to the right side. So in the chemical reaction, reactants react together and they are giving products. In the chemical reaction, reactions will react together and they are giving product, new substances they are giving. So word equation, simple way of representing chemical reaction in words, it is called as a word equation. So next thing is their chemical equation. Next example or next term is their chemical equation. So what is meant by chemical equation, that one we are going to learn. In case of the chemical equation, this one is the word equation. If you are writing that chemical equation by using chemical formula and symbols, then in short form you are writing that particular chemical reaction. It is called as a chemical equation. So definition will take first. Representation of a chemical reaction. What is the chemical equation? Representation of the chemical reactions in a reduced form in the condensed form, representation of the chemical reaction in reduced form or condensed form by using chemical formula and symbols. By using chemical formula and symbols, it is called as a chemical equation. Definition will write representing chemical reaction in condensed form by using chemical formulae and symbols is called chemical equation. Is called as a chemical equation. So what is the chemical equation? Representing chemical reaction, chemical change in the condensed form by using chemical formulae and symbols, it is called as a chemical reaction, chemical equation. So this reaction is there if you are using symbols, if you are using chemical formulae for these reactants and products, then it will get converted into chemical equation. So the same example will take. In that example, aqueous solution of the copper sulfate, you can take CuSO4 aqueous plus zinc dust. For zinc, Zn is there, it is in solid state, and it will get converted into aqueous solution of copper zinc sulfate. In that you can write ZnSO4, it is aqueous plus copper solid. So this is word equation and this is chemical equation. So word equation and chemical equation, little change is there. In case of the word equation, you are writing that reactants and products in the form of words, and in case of the chemical equation, you are writing the reactants and products in the form of chemical formulae, in the short form, in the condensed form. It is called as a chemical equation. So next thing is there. So these CuSO4 and Zn, these are the reactants. And here ZnSO4 and Cu, these are the products. So after this, next point we are going to learn, and that next point is there. What are the sign conventions to write the chemical reaction? What are the sign conventions to write the chemical reaction? Sign conventions to write the chemical equation or chemical reaction. Next point we are going to learn. That one is there. Sign conventions to write the chemical reaction, or ways of writing the chemical reaction. So that sign convention, 7-8 points are there, and that points we are going to learn. And that points, first point is there. Our point is there. Main point is there. Sign conventions to write a chemical equation. What are the sign convention? What are the ways to how to represent the chemical equation? So we are knowing in the chemical reaction, reactant react together, they get converted into products. They are forming new product, new substances are produced. So how to write that chemical equation we are going to learn. So point wise we are going to go. So in that we will make two columns. In that first one is there, reactants are written to the LHS and the products are written to the RHS. So what is the first point? Reactants are written to the left hand side and products are written to RHS. So reactants are written to the left hand side and the products are written to the right hand side. So next, second point is there. In that second point is there about arrow. So while writing the chemical equation, you have to put one arrow, you have to write one arrow between the reactant and product, and that arrow is heading towards the product. So one arrow you have to place between reactant and product, and that arrow is heading. This arrow is heading or pointing towards products. This arrow is pointing towards the product. Third point is there. Suppose in the reactant there maybe two or more reactants, 2-3 reactants are there together at that time, or sometimes 2-3 products are there together at that time. Next point is there plus sign. Plus sign. Suppose if 2 or more reactants are there or 2 or more products are there, in between these 2 or more reactant or 2 or more products, plus sign is given, or these are written with the help of plus sign. So if 2 or more reactants are there or products are there, then plus sign is written between them. These are joined with the help of plus sign. So fourth point is there. In case of the fourth point, you have to make that reaction more informative. To make reaction more informative, to know, to understand that particular reaction, how it takes place, which are the reactant, which are the products, and what are the states of the reactant, and what are the states of the products. For that, to make reaction more informative, you have to write states of that particular reactants and products. So to make a reaction more informative, physical states of reactants and products are written. So physical states are important, to write the physical states of the reactants and products. So with the help of example we will see, and for that suppose reactant or products, these are solids. Solid is there, then into bracket you are writing S. Suppose it is in a liquid state, then you are writing into bracket L. If it is in a gaseous state, then you are writing into bracket Z. Suppose it is forming insoluble mass, or also you can say PPT. At that time insoluble mass is there or PPT is there. Instead of a solid, you are going to write PPT or downward arrow. If react in the products, suppose insoluble mass is formed, precipitate is formed, then you are writing below to that product PPT or downward arrow. Next thing is there, if that a reactant or a product is there in the form of solution, if a solution is there with water, if solution is there in water, then you are going to write below to that reactant or product, to the right side you are going to write into bracket aqueous. So these are the sign conventions. 4 points we have studied. In that fourth point is important, to make the reaction more informative, you have to write the state of the reactants and products. If solid is there, then into bracket S. Liquid is there, into bracket L. Gas is there, into bracket Z. Insoluble mass, precipitate is there, then you are going to write PPT below it or downward arrow. And in solution is there with water. When solution is made along with water, then you are going to write aqueous. Okay, so we'll take an example for this fourth point. Suppose we have studied before this one reaction, chemical reaction, and which that chemical reaction, when copper sulfate and zinc both are reacted together, then it is giving zinc sulfate plus copper. So the example will take CuSO4 plus Zn, it gives ZnSO4 plus Cu. So to make this reaction more informative, you have to write the physical state. Copper sulfate is in aqueous state, AQ. zinc is in a solid state, when an arrow is there, then zinc sulfate is aqueous and copper is solid state. So these are the ways to write the chemical reaction. So fifth point we are going to learn, and in that fifth point, suppose heat is supplied from the outside for the chemical reactions. To carry out that chemical reaction, suppose there is need to supply the heat. Suppose heat is supplied to the chemical reaction, and with the help of heat, then how to write and where to write that heat we have to study. If heat is supplied for chemical reaction, then delta sign you have to write above the arrow. Above the arrow you have to write the delta sign, or you can write plus heat in the reactant side. You can write delta above the arrow, or above the arrow you can write delta and or plus heat to the reactant side. So example we'll take for this. One activity we have studied, if you are taking if you are taking calcium carbonate, if you will take calcium carbonate, okay, then powder, then what will happen? Suppose you will take CaCO3, calcium carbonate you will take, and if you will heat this one, calcium carbonate powder you will take, and if you will heat, if you are supplying heat, then you have to write the product will be the CaO plus CO2. So here delta sign is given, it is written, this one is solid state, this one is also solid state, and this one is in gaseous state. So or you can write like this way, calcium carbonate limestone powder plus heat, and it gives CaO solid plus CO2 gas. This one is solid. So by these two ways are there to write the heat. And if heat is given out in the chemical reaction, if heat is produced in the chemical reaction, then you are going to write plus heat to the right side. Suppose in the chemical reaction, after the formation of the product, heat is produced, then you are going to write plus heat to the product side. So 6 point we are going to learn, and in that 6 point we are going to learn what is there. So specific conditions required for the chemical reaction should be mentioned. So whatever specific conditions are necessary for the chemical reaction, that specific conditions for the chemical reactions are written above the arrow or below the arrow. So for that one example, of which specific conditions we are going to take specific conditions, and in that specific conditions there may be temperature, there may be pressure, or there may be catalyst. So catalyst we have studied before this. What do you mean by catalyst? It is the chemical substance which do not take part in the chemical reaction but increases the rate of reaction. It do not take part in the chemical reaction but increases the rate of the chemical reaction, speed of the chemical reaction, so it is called as a catalyst. So specific condition, either temperature, pressure or catalyst, you have to write below the arrow or above the arrow. So example we are going to take for that. That example is there. Suppose you are taking vegetable oil. So oil is in a liquid state. Plus, if you are taking a hydrogen gas, gaseous state, if you are passing hydrogen gas, so it will give vanaspati ghee, and it will be solid state. This one is unsaturated, this one is saturated, but this reaction takes place at specific temperature and in presence of specific catalyst. So this temperature is there 60 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature? At 60 degrees Celsius, and one nickel catalyst should be there. Nickel catalyst. So when a vegetable oil, through the vegetable oil, hydrogen gas is passed in presence of a nickel catalyst at 60 degrees Celsius, then it get converted into vanaspati ghee. That is, unsaturated compound is converted into saturated form. So another 1-2 points are there, that one I will rub this side and then I will write. So before that I am going to revise this one again. So sign conventions to write the chemical equation. In that 7-8 points are there. In that first point is the reactants are always written to the LHS and products are written to the RHS. Second one is there, between the reactants and products arrow is placed and that arrow is heading towards, pointing towards the products. Then third point is that if 2 or more reactants are there, 2 or more reactants are there, or 2 or more products are there, then these are joined, plus sign is placed between these two reactants or products. Fourth point is there related to the, to make reaction more informative. So for making reaction more informative, we have tried the physical states of the reactants as well as physical states of the products. If a reactant or product is solid, then you have to write bracket S. It is in liquid, then bracket L. If a gaseous, then bracket Z. And insoluble mass precipitate is formed, then you can write PPT or downward arrow. And solution is there in along with water. If that solution of that reactant or product is there in water, then you have to write AQ to the right of that particular chemical formula downside. So example, we have taken copper sulfate plus zinc dust, it gives ZnSO4 plus Cu. Copper sulfate aqueous is there, zinc solid is there, zinc sulfate aqueous is there, and the copper is solid state. So like this way physical states we have written. So fifth one is there, heat. If heat is supplied for the chemical reaction, if heat is applied to the chemical reaction, then on the arrow you can write delta sign, triangle sign you have to write, or to the right, to the in the reactor side you can write plus heat in the reaction side. So example, you can take limestone powder, calcium carbonate on heating it will give calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So this one is solid state, this one is solid state, this one is gaseous state. Or you can calcium carbonate plus heat and it will give CaO plus CO2. And sixth point is there, specific conditions for the chemical reaction. That specific conditions for the chemical reaction you have to write above the arrow or below the arrow. And in that specific conditions, which are the temperature will be there, pressure will be there, catalyst will be there. And in that example, we have taken vegetable oil plus hydrogen gas. It will get converted into vanaspati ghee at 60 degrees Celsius and a nickel catalyst, in presence of nickel catalyst. And seventh point is there. In the seventh point, you have to write the concentration of the reactants. What is the concentration of the reactant? And that concentration you have to write. In case of the seventh point, all seventh point is there. In that seventh point, so special information of that reactants or that products. In that special information you can take a concentration of the reactants. Either it is a dilute or either it is concentrated. So two reactions are there. Special information. 7 point is there about special information. In that two example we are going to take. Suppose you will take a copper reaction between copper plus HNO3. Copper is in solid state and HNO3 is in aqueous state. Aqueous. And if you will take concentrated nitric acid, then you have to take 4 HNO3. After this, what are the products? In that it will form CuNO3 twice plus it will give NO2 plus H2O. It will give NO2 plus H2O. So how many hydrogen are there? 4 are there. How many are here? 2 are there. What you can do? 2 2s are 4. 4 is there. 2 2s are 4. Another thing, how many nitrogen are there? 4 into 1 is there, man, that means 4 nitrogen are there. And here how many are there? 2 are there. 2 multiplied by n, 2, and here 2 is necessary, so you can write here 2. So we'll check whether chemical reaction is balanced or not. So Cu1, Cu1, 4H, 2 2s are 4H, 4N, 2N plus 2N, 4N. Then oxygen, 4 3s are 12, 4 3s are 12, 2 3s are 6 plus 2 2s are 4, 6 plus 4, it will be 10 plus 2, 12. So chemical reaction is balanced. So here you are taking concentrated nitric acid, and which product is formed? This one is their copper, this one is their concentrated nitric acid. Again arrow is there, this one is will be there copper nitrate, this one is there nitrogen dioxide, and this one is their water molecule. So second thing is there, if you are taking dilute HNO3, if you take dilute nitric acid, then what will be the reaction? That one we have to study. So Cu as it is, HNO3 is there, and a reaction will be there. Now this one is solid, this one is aqueous, this one is aqueous, but it is dilute. So when you are taking dilute nitric acid, at that time more number of molecules you have to take. So you have to take 8 HNO3. How many HNO3 you have to take? 8 HNO3 molecules you have to take. Then what will be the product? Product will be same, CuNO3 twice, plus here product will change, NO will be there only, NO plus H2O. So here how many hydrogen are there? 8. Here how many are there? 2. So what you can do? 4 2s are 8. 4 2s are 8. So again, how many nitrogen are there? 8 are there. 8 multiplied by n, 8 nitrogen. Here how many are there? 2. How many are there? 2. And if you will give here 2, then it will become 4. But 8 are there. So what you can do? Here 2 are there. 2 3s are 6. If you do here 3, 2 nitrogen multiplied by 3, 2 3s are 6 plus 2, 8. It will become 8 nitrogen. So copper will become 3, and that's why you have to multiply here by 3. So 3 Cu plus 8 HNO3, it will give 3 thrice CuNO3 twice plus NO plus 4 H2O. So name of the reactant, this one is their copper, this one is their nitric acid, dilute nitric acid. Reaction will take place, and here it will give copper nitrate, copper nitrate. This one is their nitrogen oxide, and a water molecule is there. So you can write the difference. If you are taking concentrated, nitrogen dioxide is formed. If you are taking dilute, nitrogen oxide is formed, and the product only will change. And here if concentrated taking, then less number of nitric acid molecules are necessary. If you are taking dilute, then a more number of nitric acid molecules are necessary. So these are the points how to write the chemical reaction, chemical equation with the help of sign convention. That one 7-8 points we have learned. So after this we are going to learn importance of the chemical reaction. After this we are going to learn about importance of the chemical reaction. Next point is that what is the importance of the chemical reaction. So importance of chemical reaction. So 3-4 points we are going to learn. In that, in the chemical reaction, reactant react together, they will get converted into products. New substances are produced. Second point is in the chemical reaction, mass of the reactant and mass of the product, mass of the substance is conserved, mass is conserved. Third point is there, in case of the chemical reaction, number of atoms are also conserved, number of atoms are also conserved. And next thing is there, in the chemical reaction, property and composition of the reactant changes, property and composition of the reactors also changes, and it will get converted into product. And in the chemical reaction, either energy is absorbed or energy is given out. So 3-4 points were. So during importance in the chemical reaction, what you are going to learn is that reactants are converted into product. In the chemical reaction, reactant react together, they are giving new substance, new product. Second thing is that in the chemical reaction, mass, in the chemical reaction, mass of the substance or mass of the matter, mass of matter is conserved. Third one is the number of atoms in that substance is also conserved. Atoms of the reactants and products are also conserved, Fourth point is there. In case of the fourth point, properties and composition of the products and properties and composition of the reactant are different. Properties and composition of reactants and products are different. That means whatever properties are there of reactant, and these are not the property of the products. That means properties of the reactant and properties of the products are changing. And last one is there, during the chemical change, either heat is absorbed or given out. It is absorbed or given out. So we have studied about chemical reaction. After this, we are going to learn about one activity, how the law of mass of conservation, law of conservation of mass. Before this we have studied. So one activity, one reaction we are going to study. In that, what you have to do. One activity is given in the textbook. So in that activity, what you have to do, some chemicals you have to take and a reaction you have to carry out. So you will take silver nitrate and NaCl salt. So which substances you have to take? Two things you have to take: silver nitrate, and second one is the NaCl salt. So first thing, you will take one weight balance. You will take one weight balance. Here will be reading. And after this, you have to take one conical flask. And in that conical flask, you are going to take NaCl. In the conical flask, you are going to take NaCl, sodium chloride, and in that one test tube you are going to place, and in that test tube you are going to take AgNO3. You have to take. So and here rubber cork you have to fix. And you have to measure the weight of this mixture. You have to measure the weight of these reactants. So suppose it will be 300 grams. It may be 300 grams. After this, you have to make it inverted. After this, you have to tilt this one. That means through this you have to tilt. Suppose you will tilt like this. it will tell like this. Then a solution from that particular test tube will fall here. So here NaCl is there and plus AgNO3 is there. So mixing will take place, and after the mixing you have to take weight balanced. On that you have to keep one conical flask, and now here will be reaction mixture, and here will be test tube, and here will be NaCl plus AgNO3 mixture will be there, and this one you have to measure the, and here also it will be 300 grams. So what is the activity? That one just give attention. One conical flask you are taking. In the conical flask you are taking NaCl solution. In the test tube you are going to AgNO3 silver nitrate. So react this one before the chemical reaction. Before mixing you have to measure the weight. After tilting, these two mixtures, these two solutions will get mixed. Chemical reaction will take place, and after that we are going to measure the weight of that particular mixture after the chemical reaction. So what you will understand, what you will find in that weight before the chemical reaction and weight after the chemical reaction, weight of the reactant and weight of the products will remain same. So which law you are saying? Law of conservation of mass. What is the law of conservation of mass? The mass of the chemical reactants before chemical reaction is equal to mass of the products after chemical reaction. That means mass is conserved, and what you can say here, atoms cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. That means mass is conserved. This one is before chemical reaction, and this mass is there after chemical reaction, after chemical reaction. So what is the law of conservation of mass? So mass before the chemical reaction, mass of the reactant is equal to mass of the product after the chemical reaction. So reaction we are going to study. So first thing is there NaCl, aqueous is there, sodium chloride plus AgNO3 or taking AgNO3 silver nitrate. It is also in aqueous state. Arrow is there. So in this NaNO3 will be produced. NaNO3 will be produced, and plus AgCl will be produced. Ag and Cl, they will form silver chloride will be there, and here white PPT will be produced. What type of PPT will be produced? White precipitate will be produced. Color of the precipitate will be there. White PPT will be produced. And you can write here downward arrow. This one is their aqueous. So what type of chemical reaction will take place? So NaCl and AgNO3, these are the reactants. And their weight 300 grams before chemical reaction, and these are the products. And their weight, their mass after the chemical reaction also same. So NaCl reacts with AgNO3, it will give NaNO3 plus AgCl, name is their sodium chloride, silver nitrate. It gives sodium nitrate plus silver chloride, and this one will give white PPT. So sodium chloride plus silver nitrate, it will give sodium nitrate plus silver chloride, and this one is a white PPT. So this is, and after this we are going to learn one question is there in the textbook. What is the question? Why silver nitrate is used in the water sink? That example, that explanation we are going to learn. Why silver nitrate is used in the water sink? Why silver nitrate is used in water sink? So silver nitrate, AgNO3, used in water sink. So reason we are going to study. So we are knowing in the Indian citizens above the age of 18 years, they are having a right to give vote. So to avoid the frauds, one person should do voting at one time only. To avoid the frauds, in the voter ink, silver nitrate is used. First thing is there, for what purpose? To avoid fraud. To avoid the fraud, one person should do voting at one time only. So second thing is there, if you are mixing silver nitrate in water zinc, then this silver nitrate AgNO3, it reacts with salts present on our skin. It reacts with salts present on our skin, and after this, when it will react, then it will form AgCl. It will form silver chloride. So third thing, this layer silver chloride along with ink, it will give brownish color to the skin and it will not be removed. So it is not washed out within 72 hours. If you will wash it anyhow, it is not removed within 72 hours. Then fourth point is there, it is removed along with skin. When dead cells of the skins are removed, they will be removed, then this ink layer will be removed. So it cannot be washed with soap, detergent, okay, it cannot be washed with soap or detergent, so it is used into the water sink. So it is helping to color our finger. Okay, so why it is used into the water sink? To avoid the fraud in the water's election. Again, AgNO3 reacts with our salts present on our skin and it will form silver chloride, and along with it will give color to the skin. It is not washed out within 72 hours, and it cannot be washed with soap or detergent, and it will be removed slowly along with removal of the dead skin layer. Okay. So next point we are going to learn, and that next point is there, what are the uses of silver nitrate in day-to-day life? What are the uses of silver nitrate? Silver nitrate uses day-to-day life. This question is also there in the textbook. So first thing is there, silver nitrate is used to cure or to treat bone ulcers. Silver nitrate is used to treat bone ulcers. Second one is there, silver nitrate is used in the burn cream. It is used in the burn cream. Again, it is used to treat the wounds, to cure the acute wounds. Small wounds will be cured with this. Next thing is there, it is used, silver nitrate, AgNO3. AgNO3 is used to detect chlorine, bromine, iodine, that is halogens, in laboratory. AgNO3 is used for detection of chlorine, bromine, iodine, halogens in the laboratory. Also, silver nitrate is used into the hair dye. It is also used into the hair dye, as well as it is used into the inks. In ink also it is used. And last, it is used as a stain. It is used as a stain for proteins and nucleic acids. As a stain in for proteins and nucleic acids. So it is used. What are the uses of silver nitrate in day-to-day life? In that we have studied here already. In the water sink it is used. Second thing is there, it is used for treating the bone ulcers. Second one is there, burn cream. If a burning of the skin takes place, for that also it is used. Next one, to cure the acute wounds. Small wounds can be cured. AgNO3 is in the laboratory. It is used to detect the chlorine, bromine, iodine radical because it is forming PPT. And hair dye, it is used into the hair dye as well as ink, and it is used as a stain for proteins and nucleic acid. So next point is there, and that next point is there, how to balance the chemical reaction, steps to balance the chemical reaction. That one we'll study in next video.